This Friday, the Greater Richmond Bar Foundation, along with the VCU Department of Music, present their third annual Jazz4Justice benefit concert. This annual event will help with offering free legal representation in our community and promoting the development of young talent in the art of jazz, like we earlier enjoyed by Chet Ferguson and David Roberts.
The director of VCU's Jazz Studies program, Antonio Garcia, is here along with Allie Fannin, the executive director of the Greater Richmond Bar Foundation. Thank you both for coming in. That's a perfect mix. Lawyers and jazz. Let's put those together, see what happens. That is an interesting concept for you guys to come together. How did this all start?
Well, actually, the very first Jazz4Justice concert happened up in Northern Virginia with George Mason University, and we were very thankful for the idea being shared with us to bring it down here where VCU has such a great, healthy music department. And so the idea of putting jazz and justice together has been going on much longer than this concert, but I think that the idea of having a concert that supports both causes gives the attorneys something interesting to do with their time and the musicians something interesting to learn about the law.
And we heard a couple of the students, Chet and David, are here with us today and performed wonderfully. What other kind of music are we going to hear?
Well, there will be a variety. We have two jazz ensembles, our Jazz Orchestra 1 and 2, and there'll also be the Commonwealth Singers, our largest choral group. There'll be a small combo that's brought together from Jazz4Justice scholarship winners of the past. We'd like to salute them and have them contribute to the concert. And in one of the most unique portions of the concert will be contributions by Justice John Charles Thomas, who's going to read, actually recite from memory, some of his poetry that he's written over the years, many of which have social justice themes. And the jazz musicians who are scholarship winners will be improvising jazz music in tandem with his reading for the first time. They've never even met, much less rehearsed.
Wow. That's great. So a little improvisation.
Yeah, that's big improvisation right there.
Spot.
You know, I understand that the musicians are going to learn a lot. What do the attorneys learn from this, and what do you come away with from this?
Well, I think that we learned, first of all, we remember back to when we were students and how we came to the law with a love for the law. You can see the love for music in the students' eyes, and so I think it's a nice reconnect with kind of the passion that brought you to the law in the first place. But I think we also learned that you can share with your community something other than your legal skills and still have a strong sense of purpose as a lawyer. So I think it brings that to it, and it also allows us to just really share in community and something interesting.
Well, Antonio mentioned scholarships. What's the legal side of this? What benefits on that side?
Well, in our Greater Richmond Bar Foundation, we have two in-house programs that connect volunteer lawyers with actual legal requests. So we have our Pro Bono Clearinghouse, nonprofit organizations that need transactional help get to have a volunteer attorney from, we call it our virtual law firm. And so depending on what their request is, we match it with an attorney. And then we also run the Veterans Initiative in partnership with the Virginia Bar Association. So veterans and service members, they make an online request about legal assistance, and we try to match them with volunteers throughout the state.
I have a question for Antonio, and it's about jazz. Is it alive and well? Because people keep telling us it's dead now, but then we hear what we heard this morning.
They've been saying it's dead for probably 70 of its 90 years, and it's the truth of the matter is that I like to say that jazz is a vacuum cleaner. It inhales all the music around it. It does different things with it, goes back out into the public, and affects the popular music. And so then that cycle continues and continues. What happens then after 10 years, 20 years is that jazz becomes harder and harder to define. It's harder and harder to say, well, that's jazz and this isn't, because it has spread throughout all kinds of popular music. You can't listen to music today on the radio or in a live performance in almost any genre without hearing jazz influences, and yet it's not jazz. So
it is
jazz is thriving.
Well, let's tell people about the concert, the Jazz4Justice benefit concert, this Friday, February 3rd, 7 p.m. at the VCU Singleton Center on Park Avenue.
We'll post a link on all the details at WTVR.com/VTM.